I'm saying goodbye to 44 years of people who've loved her and loved me.
Sonia Mangat from eTalk Canada.
From eHot Canada. And I don't mean that in any inappropriate way. I mean that
No.
simply as a friend and someone who likes your outfit.
Oh, you're
which
so
is
kind.
baller.
Thank you. Well, I can't take credit for it. It's my stylist, but I have to say you look absolutely beautiful.
Stylist, schmilist.
Well-
Ultimately, you're wearing it.
Thank you. Congratulations
Thank you
on
so
this
much.
film. I, first of all, want to say thank you for ruining my sleep, not just last night, but most likely for the next 6 months. You should have seen me in theater last night. I warned everybody. I warned the whole theater. I was like, Mama's going to be screaming. And
Do you
I'm
call
probably
yourself mommy?
I am, yes. I have a 10-year-old who loves horror movies.
I call myself mommy.
Yes.
I speak about mommy a lot. Wow,
Yes.
mommy meet mommy.
Aw, yes.
You
And
have a
I'm gonna have
10-year-old
to.
and they like horror movies?
She loves horror movies.
Oi, continue.
So we're gonna have to watch this again.
Oi,
which
continue.
I
Please don't show a 10-year-old this movie.
You know, I know, but that's the thing, right? Like it's
You know,
just,
la 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 la
I'll
la.
be
I
like
don't
this.
want to know. I don't
I'll
want to
be like
know.
this.
I don't want to know.
But you know, in the even trailer, we hear Laurie say Michael is more dangerous. How could this iconic horror person be even more dangerous than what he has already been?
I think when you have an inevitable collision that you know is coming, it in your head it accelerates. It's the inevitability of it makes it more dangerous. It feels so fraught, so heightened. And it's weird because the movie, actually, there's a time cut and it starts 4 years after Halloween Kills, which saw the death of Laurie's daughter. And you can't imagine something starting from such a high point. And so they so correctly decided to give it a little bit of a pause, kind of restructure. You don't know really where you are at the beginning of the movie. You don't know what movie you're watching. There's this incredible opening sequence that is itself a movie.
Yes.
But then you're thrown back into Laurie and her life, and for a minute you think, oh, it's all gonna be okay. Oh, she's gonna be okay. She's gotten some help. People have helped her through that trauma, which they never did in 2017. When in 1978. In 1978, I think Laurie Strode went back to school 2 days after that attack.
Yeah.
Because her parents were like, well, what are you gonna do, sit around the house and mope? You know, you gotta go back to school, get back on the horse.
Yeah.
You know, and so that girl is the woman we meet in 2018.
Yes.
And she's living behind barbed wire, emotionally, physically,
Has
spiritually.
never dealt with it. Yeah.
She's dealt with it, but she never got help dealing with it. She's dealt with it the best way she knows,
Interesting.
which is alcohol, drugs, sex, the collision with people, banging around the world. But it has resulted in a woman living behind barbed wire.
Yeah.
And then we saw the result of all of that at the end of Kills. So in this new movie, you see the beginning of hope.
Yes.
The possibility that you can live alongside grief, but you can actually live until the roof caves
And you
in.
really feel Laurie's emotional sort of ending into it as well in the beginning. So I have to say, like, how has it been emotionally for you to sort of say goodbye to this trilogy?
Well, I'm saying goodbye to a lot. I'm saying goodbye to 44 years of people who've loved her and loved me because
Yes.
they love her. I'm saying goodbye to the words described about Laurie Strode. Strong, resilient, brave, tenacious, fearless, warrior, perseverer, like all of the beautiful words we describe Laurie Strode, I get ascribed to me because I am Laurie. And she and I now, when I played her when I was 19, she was a character part. She dressed differently than me, she looked differently than me, she sounded differently than me. It was a character and I loved it. I couldn't wait. But in 2018, the woman we meet is much closer to Jamie, and by now, Laurie and Jamie, you cannot pull us apart. And so I am saying goodbye
I love that.
to fans and friends and Laurie herself, and everything good in my life comes from Halloween. Everything, including my husband.
Thank you so much. They're both boss babes. They're absolutely boss babes, both of them. Jamie, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Lovely
So great
meeting you.
and you do look amazing. First of all, congratulations on absolutely ruining my sleep last night and possibly for the next year. Horror movies, it's like we have this love and hate relationship. It's like I have to see them, but then I hate seeing them. And so mission accomplished. Congratulations on that. I have to ask, you know, you've said that Jamie has sort of been this muse for all the writers behind this. So I'm curious to know, how did she inspire Halloween Ends?
Well, when you take on the responsibility of writing a character like Laurie Strode, you know, with Jamie, you've got just such an infinite pool of talent to pull from. So it's trying to create a character that, for me as a fan, I'll track her evolution. So in our 2018 film, I see a woman that is has been scarred by the events of 1978 and has locked herself away, and is on guard and paranoid. And then in our Ends film, we go 4 years later, and she's beyond that. She's dealt with the tragic loss of her daughter and a massacre in her community, but she's trying to heal herself, the town of Haddonfield, and setting up Halloween decorations, making pumpkin pies. So I'm just curious about these broad stroke radical playgrounds that I can create for Laurie Strode, and then me and my co-writers bring Jamie into the mix and say, what would Laurie do?
Yeah, you said that people would be shocked from this one, but for fans who follow this entire journey, I would say they're going to be really surprised. Yeah. What can you say about the surprising factor about this? Because I was surprised right from the top.
It's just such an interesting thing to work with these iconic characters, because you don't want to do the same thing over and over. You want to embrace certain tropes and cliches that I get to deem are fun, and then other times you want to put your own signature on it. And this was one where it was very inspired by John Carpenter movies, not just Halloween, but we bring in our reflections of Christine and The Fog and They Live and The Thing. These are movies that are important to my upbringing as a filmmaker. And luckily, John Carpenter is the godfather of these movies anyway. He's a collaborator with us and does the score for the films. And so it was fun to have him every step of the way kind of helping us engineer, commenting on what we're doing and giving us feedback.
I have to ask, sort of walking away from this last night too, I couldn't help but also wonder or realize this underlying issue of mental illness, right? Something that we talk about, something that has been a huge topic, especially in the last 3 years. More and more people are talking about it. How do you balance sort of that sensitive topic when it comes to movies like this versus making something that is just a horror entertainment?
Right. Well, I think this is horror entertainment. I think if an intellectual viewer wants to find things that relate to their who they are or what the community, the world, the headlines, I think those are in there. Yeah. More often than not, they're subconscious. You know, I'm a sensitive person that's affected by the world around me as I write, and I think my co-writers are the same, and so things start to permeate in that way. But this is really, you know, for me, it's just a way that I can look at the story of of someone that's lived through something traumatic and did not have the support of his community in that. And there's a moment in the film where a character, the father of a young boy who's died, the father says, I look in his eyes. Yes. Was it always there, or did the town do this to him? Mm-hmm. Is it partly our environment that is curating some of these seeds of negativity that we have? And and so we're able, excuse me, in this movie we're able to see that through the eyes of Corey Cunningham in a way that we can't go into the psychiatric detail of Michael Myers.
Yeah, very interesting though, like how you say that. There is like sort of these nuggets, the community nuggets, the love aspect, and just like bringing the community together. I have to say that like that final scene, obviously can't give it away, but it's emotional. Like were you emotional at some point for Jamie to sort of see the final journey?
That was the thing. It was like, can it be primal? Can it be pulp entertainment? Can it be emotional? Can it be intimate? All of these things at the same time. You know, the thing about Halloween movies as opposed to a lot of big blockbuster movies is it isn't big explosions. It's not spectacular supernatural set pieces. It's typically it's two people face to face in conflict, confronting violence, confronting the past. In the case of the climax of this movie, it's Michael and Laurie, two survivors in their own respects, and they've had decades of this journey, and then now they're in a moment where they're gonna see what happens.
And they're gonna make you jump. They're gonna make your heart rate go so high. Like even you hearing you talk about it, my heart rate's like, I wish you could hear it. Like that movie just, it's a mission accomplished. Congratulations
So cool.
again.
Thank you so much.
So great to meet you.
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.